Hey everybody, this is Anthony from VR Game Rankings, and welcome to episode 44 of our daily vlog series. It is Friday, December 1st, and of course, if it is the first of the month, one thing that you want to say very early in the morning is you want to say, rabbit, rabbit, rabbit. Yeah, I hope you guys did this in the morning. I think I did this on November 1st. I talked about this. But there used to be this radio show in the Washington, D.C. area. It was called Don and Mike. And they had this radio show, and one of the hosts, Don Geronimo, used to always mention rabbit, rabbit, rabbit. Anytime it was the first of the month, and he would go into this story about how it's this good luck thing, and it's some type of East Coast thing. I'm actually a West Coast guy, California guy. And I remember hearing this, and I don't know, for some reason it stuck with me. And whenever it would be the first of the month, if I remembered, I would try to say rabbit, rabbit, rabbit. And what you're supposed to do is actually, like, when you're still in bed, like when you very first wake up, the very first second you're consciously aware on the first of the month, you say rabbit, rabbit, rabbit. And the first person in the house that does that is supposed to have a month of good luck. So I did that in November, and I had relatively decent luck, I guess. So I just keep doing it every first of the month. I'm always going to do that. So anyway, here we are. It is December 1st. And I just want to let you guys know that this show is going to be a little weird. This is probably going to be one of the weirder episodes I've had since this has begun. And the reason it's going to be weird is I have no news stories over here. Like normally what I do is I have a list of news stories on my monitor, and I go through the stories, you know, one after another, and then maybe get into some game discussion and that type of thing. That's the typical process that I have. Well, today I have no news stories. Instead, we're going to talk about this Doom VFR drama. It is just absolutely bonkers what is going on with Doom VFR. And I thought, you know what? The way I'm going to go through this is it's kind of difficult to unravel and unpack all of this stuff. So what I thought is I'm going to give you guys kind of like a blow-by-blow scenario of the timeline that I experienced yesterday when this whole Doom VFR thing all happened. And, you know, hopefully this will be halfway entertaining. I don't know. This could be a complete and utter disaster, and I will completely cop to that. You know, this could be a total disaster. This could be one of the worst episodes you'll ever see as far as the daily vlog is concerned, but I just have so much of this Doom VFR stuff stirring in my mind, and I don't really have news stories prepared and stuff. So I'm just going to do this, you know, and just kind of freestyle it, and we'll just see how it works out. Hopefully this will be halfway entertaining. I don't know. We'll just have to see. Okay, so I'm going to start this back at the beginning, and before I get into Doom VFR, I have to kind of explain something real quick. Now, I've said it before that, hold on, I've mentioned a number of times that I have a broken lighthouse. Here is the culprit right here. This is my broken lighthouse, and I've had a broken lighthouse probably for like 3 months now. Okay, and so I'm just gonna, this is a quick tangent, and then we'll get to the Doom VFR. Don't worry about that. But basically, my thought with this HTC Vive situation is originally I was just gonna buy a brand new lighthouse. In fact, I started the process of ordering one through htcvive.com, and the grand total with tax and shipping and everything was like $174. I'm not even joking about this. Okay, and then I went on to Reddit, and I was talking about it on Reddit, and everybody came in and said, hey, you can buy one from Amazon, you know. So I ended up canceling my order, my HTC order, and I was able to get my $174 back. And then so I started looking at buying one from Amazon, but other people were saying, hey, rather than spending $150 on a brand new lighthouse, why don't you put that money towards a used Vive setup, and then you'll have an extra lighthouse, you'll have some extra controllers, you'll have another headset as a backup. And I started thinking about that, and I thought, you know, that kind of makes sense. Then I looked on Craigslist. There was actually somebody here locally that had a used Vive. They were selling it for $350, which is relatively decent. I figure, hey, that $150, that knocks it down to $200. If I'm paying $150 for a lighthouse anyway, let me just go buy that. So I was working with this guy locally on Craigslist, but that deal fell through. He disappeared. I don't know if he sold it to somebody else, changed his mind or whatever. So anyway, I know this is a long diatribe, right? So I've had this HTC Vive situation now for a couple of months. And what I thought is, you know what? I thought, I'm just going to sell off all my little pieces of the HTC Vive, get money for that. I'll put it in an envelope and I will set that off to the side. And my hope was if I could survive until at least the January CES in Las Vegas, there could possibly be some announcements for a new Steam VR headset, because I kind of want to, if I'm going to sell all this stuff off, I kind of want to get a new Steam VR headset that maybe has some slight advancements and just start over like that. And so that was the process that I was thinking about. So I've actually had my HTC Vive up for sale locally on Craigslist. I didn't put it on eBay because eBay will absolutely rape you when it comes to all of the eBay fees and all of the PayPal fees. You sell something for a certain price, but when it's all said and done, you're taking like a 30% hit because of all these different fees that stack upon each other. So I didn't do the eBay thing. So I've had my Vive headset for sale on Craigslist for a little while now. And what happened is, how does all of this relate to Doom VFR? Hold on, I'm getting there. Okay, so what happened was I encountered this dude on Reddit that was actually looking for a Vive HMD that was just by itself, just a la carte Vive HMD. And I thought, you know what, this is a good deal. If I could sell it to this guy, then I've sold the most expensive part, and then I can start parting out all the other parts, and eventually I'll get some decent money for all this crap, and I'll just put it off to the side and we'll wait for a new Steam VR headset. Okay, so yesterday, the whole Doom VFR thing happened, but I have to explain that, you know, in the morning when it was announced that Doom was going to be available at 7 p.m. Eastern time yesterday, for some reason I didn't read that correctly, and I thought it was 7 p.m. Eastern time today, Friday, December 1st. I didn't know it was the final day of November at 7 p.m. Eastern time. So I had no freaking idea that people were actually going to be able to play Doom VFR yesterday. I just didn't read it. I wasn't paying attention. I don't know. I don't know how that happened. So anyway, it's about 4 p.m. my time Pacific, which is 7 p.m. right when all this happened. But I wasn't on Reddit. I didn't know anything about this, right? And so this guy that I was talking to, a guy on Reddit that wanted to buy my Vive HMD, we were talking back and forth, and he was like, yeah, man, I'll go ahead and PayPal you the money and blah, blah, blah. So we worked out a deal. And I packaged up my Vive headset. Now, this is just the headset by itself. No 3-in-1 cables. The only thing I gave them was the foam, you know, the foam face gasket, the wide version and the narrow version, but no 3-in-1 cable was included. Nothing else was included, just the Vive headset. And so he bought it. He PayPal'd me the money. And so I wrap it all up, package it up nicely in a flat rate priority box, run it over to the post office, get it shipped, go back, email him the tracking number and all of that. So all of that had just happened. I just sold my Vive headset, right? And then I was kicking back and I was like, oh, okay, let me check Reddit. I go to Reddit and I see just Reddit has exploded, okay? The HTC Vive Reddit has exploded. The Oculus Rift Reddit has exploded. Doom VFR is available now. And I'm like, what? I thought it was 7 p.m. Eastern time on Friday, which I thought was weird. But again, like I said, I wasn't paying attention to the date. And so Doom VFR was available right now. And I'm like, oh shit, Doom VFR is available right now. I had no freaking idea. But then I started seeing all these posts, doesn't work on the Oculus Rift, doesn't work on the Oculus Rift. And I'm like, oh my God, I just sold my HTC Vive headset like 10 minutes ago. I mean, I just shipped it, put it in a box and shipped it out. I only have one lighthouse, so it really wouldn't have mattered too much. But you know, if it appeared that Doom VFR was never going to work on the Rift, that really didn't bother me. What bothered me was Fallout 4 VR, which is coming on December 12th. So I started worrying about that. And I'm like, oh my God, I just sold my freaking HTC Vive headset. If I can't play Fallout 4 VR, I'm going to cry. I could have just bought another lighthouse and not dealt with all of this stuff. And it's all my fault. You know, it's all my fault for deciding to want to part out all these parts and set the money aside. And I know that that's my own issue, and it doesn't have anything to do with anything really. But I came on, I came on to Reddit, I saw this news, and it was like, it was just so crazy. It was so crazy that all of it was happening simultaneously. So what happened at the beginning yesterday when this first went live is everybody on the Vive subreddit, they were getting Doom VFR, but there was thread after thread after thread saying Doom VFR sucks. This is horrible. It doesn't work right. It's got problems. There's no smooth locomotion. This freaking sucks. So that's what everybody was saying on the Vive subreddit. And then on the Oculus subreddit, it was like, Doom VFR doesn't work. They blocked us. This is bullshit. Bethesda, I hate Bethesda. This sucks. Why do they hate money? All this stuff happened over on the Oculus subreddit. And so I'm reading all of this stuff and I'm like, man, this is freaking bonkers. But I was thinking to myself, oh my God, the show tomorrow is going to be absolutely golden, because I'll be able to talk about how, Oculus has been blocked and what's going on here. What is the real reason about all of that? So there was all this drama that was going on pretty much all evening, right? And so later on in the evening, this is closer to when I'm starting to think about bedtime, actually. Later on in the evening, I bounce onto Reddit again, just for a quick minute, and I see, wait a minute, it's been fixed. You can play Doom VFR on Oculus now. There's a Steam beta update that you can opt into, and now you can play Doom VFR on Oculus. So I'm like, oh shit, now this is all changed. And the funny thing is see, I had bought Doom VFR in advance. I got this deal where I got it at a reduced price and I got a code, but I didn't actually download it yet. I hadn't downloaded it. And when I heard all this drama about it not working for the Oculus Rift, I decided, well, I guess I won't even bother downloading it until I find out that there's a fix. Okay, so this is last night. It's probably like 10:30 p.m. Pacific time. And I see that if you opt into this Steam VR beta program, you can actually get this to work. But I'm like, damn, I haven't even downloaded the game, and it's almost going to be time to go to bed pretty soon. So I'm not going to have time to do this. My internet's kind of slow where I am here. I have two options. I have AT&T Uverse and I have Comcast. Well, we all know Comcast is the devil. So I'm using AT&T Uverse, and I have the fastest version that Uverse offers in my area, but it's still pitifully slow compared to most things that are out there, right? And so I knew there's no way I'm going to be able to download Doom VFR fast enough and still be able to play it unless I'm staying up till like midnight, 1 a.m. in the morning, and I'm not going to do that. So what happened was I set it up on Steam where I could download, I basically started the Doom VFR download, and then I said, F it, I'm going to go to bed, I'll wake up in the morning. And I know that just on my previous show, I was talking about how I never play VR before I do this show, but I thought, you know what, I'll try it in the morning, I'll try to play Doom VFR, get 20 minutes into it at least, so I can have a little bit of Doom VFR discussion with you guys on today's show. So I wake up today, and Doom VFR has downloaded. Everything's cool, right? And so I try to get everything up and running and couldn't get it to work. Just couldn't freaking get it to work. What would happen is I would see the logos, I would see the Bethesda logo. I would see the little id logo where it's like a little video starts playing and it's the id logo. I would see the photosensitivity warnings, and then it would just kick me back to the Steam menu, basically, the Steam home, and it would just bump me out every time. And so I tried this like 3 or 4 times, didn't work. Then I realized, wait a minute, I'm not opting into the beta the right way. And then so I went back into Steam and I found Steam VR on my library list and I opted into the beta the correct way. See, I thought I was already in the Steam VR beta because I was already in, Steam VR home beta, but it wasn't the beta that you needed to be for this to work. So then I went ahead and set that up. Okay, and so now I get into Doom VFR and it's going through the process and I start to hear music and stuff and I'm like, yes, it's gonna work, I'm gonna play Doom VFR, yes. And then it's just blackness. So basically I'm in Doom VFR, but my headset is black. Occasionally I'll see menus and I'm hearing dialogue. I'm basically hearing the intro of the game. Sorry about that. My monitor just went dead there for a second. So I'm hearing dialogue. I'm hearing the intro. I'm hearing like voice work. It's basically the game. It's like I'm in the game, except my headset is just dark. But every once in a while, I'll see a certain menu. And I'm like, what the hell is going on here? So I tried that a couple more times. Same thing. So basically, here we are at the 15-minute mark. I've told you this crazy, ridiculous story, and I still have not played Doom VFR. Now, I'm not going to give up on this. Obviously, after this show, I'm going to try to do some more things. I'm going to try to double check on this, restart my computer a couple of more times. I don't know. Maybe something will work. I do have a 970. I don't know if that's my problem. I don't think so, because I know there's some people out there with 970s that have been able to get this to work, but I'm just getting this black screen with occasional menus. I'm hearing the audio, but there's no Doom VFR game that I'm playing. So I personally have not been able to play Doom VFR. So unfortunately, I don't have comments. I don't have any comments about how Doom VFR is playing. Now, however, what I can do is I can go to these subreddits and kind of give you a breakdown on what is going on some of these subreddits with some of these threads. I'm just going to read you guys like the top 10 threads. Right now, this is brand new. This is right now on the Vive subreddit. It's about 11:18 a.m. Pacific time. I'm really late with the show today. But here's the #1 topic. Serious Sam VR games are better than Doom VFR and shows that just because AAA, it doesn't necessarily mean quality, blah, blah, blah. Okay, the next thread. Better buy Serious Sam, better to buy Serious Sam 3 VR than Doom VFR. Next thread. Doom 3 BFG has a better implementation than Doom VFR. Next thread. Sad to say it, but I'm going to be refunding Doom VFR. Next thread. I like Doom VFR. This is the only guy that likes Doom VFR out of the top 5 stories. The next thread is about a sports bar VR update. So that's the first non-Doom VFR thread on this whole list. Okay, next one. Doom VFR is bad, but I fucking love it. Okay, well, that guy likes it. But it's just free Doom VFR key. Doom VFR is just terrible. Let me see if I can find some more that's on here. Doom VFR is great for me. Only 2 big issues are dash direction being bound to HMD and gun angle. Yeah, that's another thing. Everybody's talking Doom VFR. Why is everyone bitching so hard? Doom VFR on Steam now available. So this has just turned into Doom VFR does not support sliding locomotion with motion controls. Doom VFR does not seem to work on Oculus Rift at launch. You know, just Doom VFR does not support left-handed aiming. Is this for real? So it's basically all Doom VFR all the time. It is absolutely bonkers. So that's what's going on the Vive subreddit. Now, let me go check over on Oculus real quick. I told you this show was going to be weird, and I apologize for this. Okay, so on the Oculus subreddit, it's, you can drop your pitchforks, people. Doom VFR works on the Rift with new Steam VR beta update. Steam VR beta update, a workaround for Doom VFR and other titles experiencing launch issues. Steam VR update fix Doom VFR. Doom VFR does not seem to work with Oculus Rift at launch. So, you know, it's just all Doom VFR, Doom VFR, Doom VFR. So that is all that is going on both of these various subreddits. Now, again, I have not been into the game myself personally, but what I've been hearing is that if you're left-handed, you're boned. Okay, so that's #1. If you're left-handed, you're boned. You're going to have to play it in a different way if you're left-handed, which that sucks. There's no smooth locomotion. Like, what the hell happened here? Because I had that story on another episode of our daily vlog where I was talking about people got Doom VFR for the PlayStation VR early, and this guy confirmed there is smooth locomotion. Apparently with one of the control options, there is smooth locomotion. But there's none in the PC VR version. I mean, there's none in the Steam version. That's kind of bizarre. So there's no smooth locomotion. Instead of, it's this like dash burst dash kind of thing that they have. And then the other big problem is the way the gun angle is set up. What a lot of these people are saying is, like, if you hold your arm out and you're holding a Vive wand, like you're going to lay it on the table, that's how the gun angle, like, no one fucking holds their controller like that, and that's how the gun angle is set up. So the gun angle is wrong. But we have other Oculus people that are saying, oh, actually the gun angle is better on the Oculus Rift. It's actually better on there. So it's really crazy. Lots of crazy stuff is going on here. And like I said, I haven't been able to get into it. I haven't been able to play it. I'm hoping to be able to play it later today. And let me see if I can find some more information. I'll go into some of these threads where some of these people are complaining, because it's always fun to look at. Okay, let's take a look at this one. Sad to say it, but I'm gonna be refunding Doom VFR. Let's take a look at this one. This is by Jace Worthing. Okay, edit. I wanted to clarify a couple of things so that people have a better idea of the current state of the game. I don't think that the game is irreparably broken. In fact, most of the issues can likely be easily fixed, patched. The fact that there are such simple but obvious problems that could have and should have been addressed early on in the development, or even at the last moment before pushing out the release build, is exactly why this is so disappointing. That being said, if they do patch these issues, the game would be vastly improved, and I'd probably rebuy it. So don't give up completely on it yet. It may end up being a worthwhile purchase somewhere down the line. So there's a couple of major issues, but overall it just feels like a lazy port that was developed in isolation without any real regard to the progress that other VR games have been making. Here are some of the glaring issues. No left-handed play. Talked about that already. Gun position angle is way the hell off. Talked about that. Guns shoot through enemies if you're too close. And he says, come on guys, really? Dashing mechanic is a decent idea, but it should be based on controller orientation, not head orientation. Yeah, so that's kind of a problem. Performance is a mixed bag. In general, it's super smooth, but quite often it hard locks. You know what I've heard about on the performance side of it? There's a number of people, like I have a 970, and I'm already, you know, I concede the fact that I do not have the minimum specs at all. And so I can't complain about that. That's my fault. And if you buy a game and you don't meet the minimum specs, you can't really complain about it. You have no basis to complain about it because you shouldn't have bought the game if you don't have those minimum specs. So I can't complain about it. But what I've heard from other people, some of these people have 1080 Ti's, they have i7 6700Ks, and they're still having some problems with this game. Other people are having an okay time, so it's not like completely widespread, but it does seem like the performance on this game is a bit on the jank side, so there is that. This is a minor complaint, but for a AAA game, it's really disappointing to have floating hands. After playing Echo Arena Lone Echo, it's really hard to go back to that. Yeah, so that doesn't bother me too much. I guess this guy's asking for like inverse kinematics, which he thinks all games should have that at this point. I mean, I can live with it or live without it. That's not a big deal. This is unconfirmed and could just be a technical issue, but it seems that it is hardware locked to the Vive, blah, 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 blah. Okay, yeah, so anyway, that's kind of this thread where this guy's complaining about it. And the number one reply on here is the reviews of the PS4 version are stellar, plus it's cheaper on console. What the F? So yeah, I might actually, ultimately, I might have to play this on PSVR because of my 970. Later today, like when I'm done with this show, I'm going to try to restart my computer a couple times. Maybe if Steam reloads or something, maybe it'll start to work now and I won't. Because I was hearing all the sound, just wasn't seeing the game. So I'll try that later and we'll see what happens there. But yeah, that basically is just going to cover the whole Doom VFR thing. We are at the 24-minute mark. I'll just mention a couple of brief things really quick. I did try that experience yesterday, Home, a VR spacewalk. I tried that, and that worked great, and I was actually quite impressed with it. Now, it had two different options when you first start. It had this option that was kind of more of a comfort mode, and then it had an option where if you're a VR veteran, go ahead and choose this mode. And so I did the VR veteran mode, and it is a little bit weird as you're going through the experience. You know, it starts to turn you around in some weird different ways. And there were some brief moments where I was like, oh, I don't know how this is feeling. It's kind of making my stomach a little bit queasy. But I was able to survive it for the most part. And I thought it was a really cool experience, all things considered, because this is different than the Mission ISS one. You're outside the spaceship and, well, the space station. And when you first start it, there's this part where you open the hatch, and then the hatch opens up and you can see planet Earth out there, and that is just straight up space. And you like climb and pull yourself out to get out into space. And that part was cool. It did feel cool. It felt like I was going through that hatch and now I'm out in outer space. And then the other really cool part is the very first time that other astronaut comes up by you. And, you know, he has his mask on and everything, because the character model that they have for that is really good. It looks pretty good. And so you're looking at, he has the shield over his head, so you can't see his face and everything, but it looks pretty realistic. So I thought that was cool. And, you know, you kind of do a couple miscellaneous things when you're out there in space. I don't want to spoil the whole experience, but it's definitely worth trying. Another experience that I tried yesterday that I mentioned earlier in the week was Desert Bus. I actually never tried Desert Bus until just last night. Thought might as well download this demo real quick and try it. And Desert Bus is pretty cool. I mean, basically I was just on the bus. I was in the driver's seat and I'm driving the bus and I'm listening to a radio show where Penn Jillette is talking about Janet Reno, and he's talking about Waco and all this stuff about video games and Bill Clinton's presidency. And I'm driving this bus and I accidentally veered off the road a little bit. I mean, I wasn't even off the road that much. And then all of a sudden I get towed, and you know, they tow you all the way back to the beginning. Wasn't in there super long. Thought it was pretty cool though. I mean, it is good that they have this, because everybody that's doing these telethons, these fundraisers, they can now use this, and it's probably better than playing that crappy old Sega CD game. Although that's kind of the point, is to endure the crappiness of that Sega CD game. But enduring this is going to be pretty interesting as well. We've actually had a couple of people in our comments that played this for 4 hours. I don't know how you guys did that. I was in there for maybe 20 minutes and I'm like, okay, I'm good. I'm out of here. And so I did try that. Well, anyway, folks, we have hit the 27-minute mark. Once again, I apologize for this episode. Lots of stuff going on, and I just wasn't really prepared to do much of a show today, but I tried to just bang something out there. Wanted to have some kind of episode up here. So, you know, it is what it is. And back on Monday, when we get to episode 45 on Monday, everything should return to normal. Maybe I will have finally gotten into Doom VFR and have actually tried Doom VFR. I know Gary from VR Roundtable. He has played Doom VFR and he's actually liking it. He did complain about, you know, some of the issues that it has, like the angle of the gun and the head-based dash and all of that type of thing. He did complain about some of those issues, but he was saying he was enjoying it. So it doesn't sound like it is a complete and utter disaster. So hopefully I'll have some of that to talk about on Monday, and also all of the other news and stuff as well. And basically that's going to do it. And I'll see you guys on Monday. Have a wonderful weekend. See you Monday. Later.